Hi, welcome to Dynamo Fitness. Today's video topic will be a man from the 1930s named Dr. Royal Raymond Rife. The reason this is important, as we'll see as we get into this, is it has incredible implications in the medical world as well as in our daily lives. So, just to start it off, just a brief introduction of who Dr. Rife was. He was a brilliant scientist. Years and years ahead of his time. He was born in 1888, passed away in 1917. So, excuse me, 1971. Anyway, 1971. And what did he do? Well, he studied at Johns Hopkins when he initially got his first degree, and he's known as the father of bioelectric medicine. So, bioelectric medicine, what is that? Why is that relevant? Basically, bioelectric medicine is this idea which is really only coming into use today with MRIs and CAT scans and stuff like that, to where the body is not just a physical phenomenon. It has an electric signature, and in the same way that you can interact with the body by cutting it or slicing it, you can interact with the body on an electric energy wavelength. So if you think about it, your physical body is it's real, but it's not more real than the reality of your electric signature. So one is not more important than the other, so to speak. So moving on, more about Raymond Rife. He received the honorary doctorate from the University of Heidelberg, and he was a very distinguished, scholarly man. He worked for Zeiss Optics. He worked for the U.S. government. He also worked for a number of private beneficiaries, most notably the millionaire Henry Timken. And what did he do? Why was he so distinguished? Why was he personally requested by some of the most well-to-do people in the world at that time period? Why? What did he have up in his head that was so special? Well, he was an inventor. And not only was he an inventor, but he was a doctor. He had so many different disciplines under his belt that he would do research, and as where other scientists and research firms will have to have a team, they encounter a problem, they have to spend a couple of they get set back by these problems and have to develop solutions. He would just plow right through it on his own because he had so many different scientific disciplines mastered that whenever he in his personal research encountered these setbacks, he didn't need a team of doctors, he didn't need a team of research consultants, he just figured it out. He was a really smart guy. He invented a number of things, most notably and most famously microscopes. He invented the heterodyning ultraviolet microscope, which was this was back in the 1920s. He invented this, and what does that even mean? Well, it's basically a microscope that takes ultraviolet light and hits it at a sample, and through interference and different properties of waves and all this. I'm not a physics major, so I can't really explain it to you in depth. If you want more info, you're gonna have to do your own research on Wikipedia or whatever. But basically, it takes things that can only be seen in ultraviolet light and converts that ultraviolet light into things we can see with our own eyes. So moving on, he moved through a couple of stages of prototypes with these microscopes, and these are incredibly complex microscopes. This final product, which is called the universal microscope, had over 6,000 different parts, Now, if you think about that, this is the 1933 he invented this. And if you think about that, 1933, 6,000 different parts in one machine. You know, we didn't have AutoCAD. You know, I mean, I'm an engineering student, so, uh, you know, computer design is really, you know, he had to do all this on paper, pretty much. So it's really incredible. But the real, and you're probably saying, okay, this is kind of boring, get on with it. You know, how does this have anything to do with cancer? Well, okay, I'm getting there. So, basically, he could examine and see things that no one else during the time could see, and really they hadn't even thought about at all. And he could see things up to 60,000 times the human eye. And he was the first person in history to see a living virus.